Hey, what's up? This is me, Nisi of Spoil Me Nisi, back with another video. So this is my reaction to Married at First Sight episode 12. Season 12, episode 7. I thought this was a very explosive episode. It revealed a lot, and it did change my opinion of some of the characters just a little bit. You know, I have my questions, mainly about Paige. My opinion on her is going to be a lot different now than what it was in some of my previous videos. And the coming attractions for the next season and also this episode does kind of change my view of the show as a whole. So if you haven't already seen episode 7, just as a disclaimer, this video is going to have some spoilers. So let's get into it. So all in all of the couples, you know, pretty much had some kind of drama this episode. Some of the drama I felt was real, and then some of it, I don't know, not so much. So first let's start off with Haley and Jacob. Now I know we've already established that Haley does not seem to be really into Jacob at all. You know, at first it seemed like she was kind of into it, but then it kind of seems like after they consummated their marriage, you know, her attitude towards him changed. And from the looks of Twitter, it looks like most of the viewers are kind of in cahoots with that idea that, you know, their whatever intimacy they share did kind of change things, because there is a difference in them. But in this episode, it does kind of look like Haley started to try to open up a little bit more to him. She visited his house, he visited hers. You know, at this point, it does kind of seem like while Haley is trying to get to know Jacob and trying to make this work, it seems like she doesn't like anything about him. You know, they don't really get along. They're both just kind of showing each other respect, but she doesn't really like much about him at all. You know, she went to go to his house, and, you know, it was an 80s nightmare for her. You know, and that nightmare was heightened by his love for the 80s neon lights. I mean, this guy really loves the 80s. In my opinion, is that a bad thing? No, I think that's kind of cool. Me personally, I love the 90s. You know, I think it's kind of cool that he's into the 80s that way. But, you know, that's his wife, and she's not into it. She doesn't see the humor in it. She doesn't see that it's cool in any kind of way. She seemed pretty turned off when she went in his house and saw that. You know, and then, you know, when they got their pets together, you know, it seems that her dog is, you know, very nice, but Jacob has 3 dogs, and one of the dogs was a little Cujo, tried to attack Haley's dog. You know, it kind of seems like, you know, not only does Haley not like anything about Jacob, you know, she's kind of struggling there with the connection. Their dogs don't even connect. You know, that might be a sign. I've been positive this whole time about everybody's marriage, but I don't know. I'm on the fence when it comes to Haley and Jacob. I think that these two are an odd couple, and I really don't even like talking about them that much. So yeah, there goes that. So next we have Clara and Ryan. Clara and Ryan have consistently been 2 of my favorite people on this season. I think Ryan is cool. I think he seems like he's a very cool person. I like his beliefs. I like how he treats his wife. I also like Clara. I think she kind of has like wild chick undertones, but she knows how to tone it down. She knows how to act like a lady, and I think that they both really complement each other. But they did have some problems in this episode. You know, it does seem like it really bothers her that Ryan has never been in love before. She's been in love a few times, but he hasn't. And he explained in this episode, you know, that, you know, he doesn't like to just throw that word around. He's even said that in previous episodes as well. You know, I don't see why that should be an issue for her. I know that she explains that she's afraid that she'll fall in love with him and he won't fall in love with her. You know, and in her defense, it does kind of seem like maybe his whole dating life, you know, he's been dodging his feelings. You know, maybe there was someone that he was in love with before, but, you know, maybe he leaves before those, you know, before he can say I love you, or before he really falls for a person. I mean, who knows? For him to be in his 30s and never be in love, I get how she feels. It is kind of odd, but I don't get why it's such a big deal for her. In the end, the thing that sets her apart from all the other girls that he dated is that she's actually his wife. None of those women were his wife. You know, so the chances of him opening up to her as opposed to the women in his past are slim to none. Personally, I think that he should be a little bit more concerned that she fell in love so frequently, because, you know, maybe that shows that she wears her heart on her sleeve, you know, she's vulnerable, you know, who knows. But I almost feel like she's kind of like forcing a problem, like their relationship is a little bit too perfect and she's making a problem where there isn't one. I don't know, that's just my take on it, but I guess we'll see what happens there. Next I have Virginia and Eric, another one of my favorite couples on the show. I really like these two. I think they're cool, you know, but you do see that their maturity levels and their age is kind of taking a toll in this relationship. You know, they kind of have a deep conversation where, you know, of course, Virginia feels like she's ready to be a wife. That's the reason why she came on the show. But she pretty much wants to live a single woman's life while being married. You know, she wants to come and go as she pleases, you know, have male friends, you know, sleep over at their houses, you know, pretty much do things that a person would do in their early 20s, which she is in her 20s. You know, but once you're a married woman or even a married man, some of those things that you do when you're single are not acceptable. You know, they're a little bit, you know, they're just not cool. If you still want to live that life, you know, you shouldn't be married, you know. And it just kind of seems like in this episode, Eric is throwing out like all of these like true points, you know, and it almost seems as though she's trying to convince herself and him that she's wifey material, and because of the life that she wants to live, you know, it kind of makes you wonder, you know, is she, you know, was she ready to get married? Was she married to get a wife, to be a wife? You know, I don't know. Me personally, because I love, you know, this couple, I'm rooting for them. You know, I feel like, you know, everyone that gets married has to make adjustments, you know, so maybe this is something that she can just adjust to. You know, nobody walks into marriage fully knowing what they're walking into, because, you know, marriage is a very unique experience. So I'm rooting for this couple, but I do feel like their age difference, even though I do feel like age shouldn't matter in their case, it kind of seems like it's mattering because there is a difference in maturity. But I am rooting for this couple. So next we have Brianna and Vincent, another one of my favorite couples. I think Brianna and Vincent are the cutest couples in the show, but as I said in my previous video for last week's episode, I do feel like there are some key points in both of their characters that could come out and turn a little bit ugly. You know, if you notice in this episode, of course, they're really cute with each other. They care about each other. I might even think they love each other at this point, you know, but Brianna seems like she's very particular, and she lets certain sarcastic statements just come out of her mouth, and I don't even think she means any harm by it. I think that when thoughts come to her mind, she just says them without even thinking, and he's picking up on them. You know, she almost treats him a little bit like he's a slob, you know, like she's all, oh, you know, if I see stuff, I'll pick it up, you know, whatever. She seems like a person that everything always has to be in order. And Vincent seems like the kind of person where he just kind of goes with the flow. You know, if a mess is made, he'll go back and clean it up. You know, he just kind of, he doesn't spend his whole day cleaning up his house. And she seems like the type where if a mess is made, she wants to get it right then and there. She wants him to do it as well. And, you know, it almost seems like, in a sense, she treats him kind of like a child a little bit. You know, she made a comment where, you know, he messed up his shirt with some, I guess, champagne, and she looked at the stain on his shirt and goes, oh, that's so Vincent of you. You know, when I saw that, I was like, whoa, that was a little rude, you know, and he picked up on that as well. You know, it might seem like he was being a little bit sensitive when he caught an attitude because of that and expressed himself to her and left. But I think he was right. You know, he had to stand up for himself. You know, he can't, you know, just like he has to learn to adjust to her, she has to learn to adjust to him as well. You know, and I can certainly see how the way that she is can affect him as a man. But in the end, of course, I'm rooting for this couple. I do feel like these issues aren't issues that could make or break them. I think that Brianna and Vincent are meant for each other, honestly. I truly feel that way. So I am rooting for them, and I can't wait to see what happens with them in future episodes. And next we have the worst couple, Paige and Chris. Honestly, after this episode, I don't like either one of them. Now, one thing I can say is Chris has been pretty consistent. It kind of bothers me that Paige kind of acts as though he's been like leading her on and, you know, whatever. No, you know, Paige kind of needs to own up to the fact that she hasn't been using wisdom this whole time. And everybody gets hurt sometimes, yes. You know, but Chris has been pretty honest. He told her that he wasn't attracted to her. He told her how he felt, you know, from the first episode, bringing up the ex, from just everything that kind of happened. While he's a jerk, you know, he has been pretty honest with what kind of person he was. You know, he's been so honest to the point that I wasn't even surprised that he didn't go with her to their new apartment. I would have been surprised if he did. But one thing I did like about this episode is that Paige finally got mad. You know, you finally saw her, you know, get mad. But the thing that I don't like is she got mad talking to one of the producers and not talking to Chris. You know, I get the vibe of like some issues there with Paige. You know, maybe some low self-esteem. You know, I'm not sure. But yeah, at this point, you know, I don't know. I just feel like I don't like either one of them at this point. I'm not team Paige or team Chris. I'm team get both of them just off the show. Help her move on with her life, and Chris is a jerk, and you know, that's it. I think that the rest of the couples are normal, and I feel like Chris and Paige are kind of bringing down the show, to be really honest. So that's a wrap talking about these couples. I didn't want to spend too much time on Chris and Paige. I know they're like a hot topic, but you know, to be really honest, when you look at like previews of future episodes, it does seem like this season, you know, is pretty juicy, you know, and is getting pretty juicy. But in a sense, it does kind of seem like there's a certain element to Chris and Paige that doesn't seem real. Like when they showed the preview of the next episode coming up and he's bringing his baby's mama on the show, I don't see where that's necessary, you know, and I don't like making allegations when I don't have, you know, a whole lot of facts. I'm just going based off of just purely my opinion. I truly feel like Chris went on the show for publicity. And then part of me feels like the show planted him there, honestly, because there are certain, you know, aspects of Chris's character that I don't think they would have missed if they were really doing an investigation of him for that time. You know, if these people have the experience that they seem to have, I just don't see how he would have been placed on the show. I feel like they purposely put him on the show for a reason, and they purposely put him with Paige for a reason. And I don't know, it just all kind of seems like this is all one big joke at Paige's expense. And it's just like, it's entertaining, it's juicy in a sense, but it takes away from that part of Married at First Sight that seemed real. You know, we watch it because we're like, we like seeing people fall in love. We like seeing people get married. We like seeing people have a happy ending or calling it quits. So when there's an element in the show that almost seems like it's not real, it kind of makes the show a little bit less fun to watch. So I don't know. Because of that, I do look forward to Chris and Paige just going their separate ways and just not being on the show at all. I'd be happy to not see them until the reunion. But yeah, I look forward to making another video about this next week when episode 8 comes out. God willing, I'll make a video. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you do, and hit the notification button so that you'll get notified whenever I drop a new video. And until next time, peace.